So in this video, I wanted to talk about my trip to the track in my car, and my GT Performance Pack S650 GT, you know, race red. And I wanted to talk about, my experience with it at the track. You know, it is it wasn't the first time I've been to a track in a Mustang. I recently did the Mustang Unleashed experience out in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that was cool. So I got to drive a dark horse, and I can kind of give you a little perspective between what this car felt like, which is not a dark horse, it's just a performance pack, compare it against my experience with the dark horse. I was able to drive the dark horse a little less aggressively. I got to drive this car more aggressively. So was it a big difference? So number one thing you're gonna think is like, do you really need a dark horse to go to the track? The answer is no. You can definitely have enough. You can definitely have a lot of fun. In fact, I drove this car faster than the dark horse at the track. Obviously, because it was lead follow, and I couldn't go faster than the instructor. In this car, I had an instructor in my seat, in my passenger seat, so definitely a little more. There was a little more leeway into going, faster. I got this car up to about 130 on the back straight. The fastest I got the dark horse was about 106 miles an hour on the front. In that car, I think the instructor, when I did the ride along with him, he got it up to about 140, maybe 135 to 140. Obviously, these cars, the dark horse and the GT, is comparable in power. It's not like a big drop in power. We're talking about 14 horsepower. You probably wouldn't notice that very much at all, actually. The dark horse had a little less body roll than this car. This car had a little more body roll. The transmission, honestly, I think I might have preferred how this car felt at the track. I mean, the dark horse might have had slightly shorter gearing. I mean, this car is geared at 373, so honestly, the gears were fine. In my first session, I was shifting down to second, but then I discovered I could just leave it in third and only shift into fourth for the back straight. So honestly, the track that I was at could be ran in third gear. If I wanted to, obviously I wasn't trying to like break any records here or anything. I was just trying to have fun, so I didn't really need to shift into second. But overall, I had a very fun time at this car. I think it's a perfectly capable car. The only complaint I would say that I had was, and it's probably not the car's fault. I mean, it's not. I mean, this car can be taken to the track. It's not what I would consider to be a track car. This is more like a fun GT, that can be taken to the track occasionally, and you can have fun with it. So the one issue that I had, was the fact that the rear axle, I kept getting in like 2 out of the 3 sessions, I got warnings of the rear axle was heating up, is like overheated. So I got like a flashing warning saying you got to slow down, and actually was able to like monitor the temperature. If I go here to the auxiliary gauges, I set this temperature here, this gauge here, to like the axle temperature, and actually I think I got to about, going full out, each of these sessions are about 20 minutes longer, so I think I got like 15 minutes out of each out of those sessions. The first session kind of like I left a little late. I don't know. I didn't get the whole session anyway. I was like running a little late, but second and third, it did trigger the warning for the axle. I don't know. I mean, I went online and read it and saw that is somewhat of a common thing that happens at the track. A lot of people have like wrapped their exhaust that's close to the axle and like some kind of wrapping to reduce the amount of heat onto it. I mean, they say that helped a lot. I don't know if I'm going to go that far to do that, but that was the only issue that I had. Oil temperature was fine. that was, that's obviously the most important thing. I don't think it made it past like halfway. So no issues with oil temperature. I mean, if I was going to lose I'd rather lose an axle than, than the engine. So the axle is definitely more replaceable. There's obviously, I think Steeda makes an aftermarket like, axle heat exchanger thing that you can put on it and have installed. I'm not going to do that. If I go to the track once a year, that's probably going to be like the most. I'll probably skip a year here and there. This is not, I didn't buy this car to go to the track. I wanted to go to the track to see how it was. I'm not necessarily going to drive this car all the time at the track. So if you're planning on buying a Mustang GT with a performance pack, and taking it to the track maybe more than 5 times in a year, you might want to invest in the axle heat exchanger thing that Steeda has, or that's the only one that I could find. Or maybe before that, try wrapping your exhaust that's close to the axle. Since this is a limited slip axle, I don't know if that has something to do with it. The fact that it has to, I've taken my BMW 335i F30 to the track, 4 or 5 times, and I don't know, maybe it just doesn't have any kind of, maybe it just doesn't have this, it never got a warning about the axle. Could be that it just doesn't have a sensor. This car has sensors everywhere, so it'll tell you. And I didn't like push it. Once the warning came up, I'd let off and just kind of went slow for the last 2 laps or so. And it's okay. I still had a lot of fun at the track. It was really, it was cool. So those are overall my thoughts about me at the track. I'll probably have I'll put a bit of a lap on this video as well, so you can see how it did. I think the transmission was fine, no issues there. Everything worked great. I adjusted the tire pressure. I think I had the tire pressure. I settled in about 28 psi, and then by the midway through the track session, it was up to 32, which is where you want to have them. So after you put some heat on the tires, I think overall what I'm trying to say is with this video is you don't need to buy Dark Horse to go to the track if you're occasionally going to go. The only issue that I found was the axle thing. So other than that, it works fine. I was going, as fast as I possibly could, or as fast as the instructor would let me go. So maybe if I pushed it a little less, it wouldn't be so much of a problem. As far as another update is the car, the car's been great. I got the cat skin seats put in. The transmission's loosened up. I think I had a commenter earlier on when I first got the car. One of the guys, I think I mentioned something about how the car, the first to second shift wasn't the best. But after a while, I feel like everything, the transmission's like seated in a little better, you could say, and I feel like everything's just a little looser, you know, just, you know, easier. Shifts are so easy and effortless in this car. I've also gotten better at driving stick. I mean, I bought this car a year ago to drive stick, and this is like basically the 1 year anniversary, around the 1 year anniversary. I think I bought it in early November of last year. And so far it's been awesome. I mean, I can't, you know, it's been an amazing car, and, you know, I'm still, you know, I still think that the Mustang's the way to go. I mean, it's the only way to get a manual transmission in like a V8, you know, anymore. And this is just the way it is. This is the reality that we live in, and the way the car market has gone. You know, obviously Dodge and has backtracked a little bit on their Challenger or whatever. I guess it was their Charger, the electric Charger. Now they're offering the 6-pack is finally out, and I hear it's, you know, okay, it's pretty fast. I hear that it's really fast. You know, it's got a straight 6. I love my straight 6s. I got my straight 6 in my BMW. Very tunable engine. The fact that it's turbocharged, people seem to like it. You know, it leaves, I think a lot of people are already like, I think tuning those like crazy. The new Charger platform is extremely tunable, just like any like turbocharged engine. You can extract a lot of power out of that thing for not, you know, just a tune, you know, minimal money. Basically, I mean, out of my BMW, I got about 100 horsepower just on the tune and an upgraded intercooler, basically, and a downpipe. But this car is just pure muscle. The sound, I mean, it never gets tired. It never gets old. I mean, every time I get into it, the engine sounds incredible. I just love, you know, it pulls hard, you know, it has just the right amount of power. It's not, I feel like, you know, cars with 600, 700, 800 horsepower are just like, it's like a waste. I mean, when can you use that amount of power? I mean, I think almost 500 horsepower is like the sweet spot. You know, even though this car is quite heavy and stuff, but, you know, it's still, you know, more than enough power to get this car moving pretty quickly, and more than enough to go to the track. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm going to leave it there. Really helps a lot if you can like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions about the car, taking a Mustang to the track, and I'll see you in the next one.